Hello, everyone. Welcome to forgot to change the screen, the monthly Metaphysical Report, and this edition is for April 2020. So, we are going to get started with a little lead in. I hope that you all enjoyed this monthly edition. I'd love to hear your feedback in the comments. All right, so here we go. I'm going to begin with a singing bowl to bring our mind to a state of peace and to stimulate our energy so that we are receptive to all the information during this report. All right. Next, I'm going to do a very brief meditation to bring us further into a receptive space. So please make yourself comfortable, and I ask you now to draw your attention to your breath. Breathe in, hold for a moment, breathe out. Bring your awareness to where you are now in the present moment. Notice any sounds around you, any scents, and you can leave your eyes closed or open them and just observe the space that you are in at this moment. Now, I would like you to envision yourself inside of a large bubble. This is your aura. Now, at the bottom of your aura, this bubble, I would like you to envision whatever feels right to you, whether it's a pipe, a rope, roots, or anything that's long, extending from the bottom of your aura and reaching deep into the earth. This is your grounding cord. Now, we are going to be taking energy out of our aura and seeing it drain downward through our bubble, down the pipe, let's say, and into the earth. Your energy is intelligent and will respond to your intention. So I would now like you to focus on releasing all energy that does not belong to you, all foreign energy, all energy that is not serving your highest good, all energy that is not serving your goals at this time. Breathe out and release this. Know that it is draining downward into the earth. Everything you releases out of you from every layer of your aura, from every chakra, from every part of your being and body. We also now release all energy blocks, emotional blocks, toxic attachments, relationship cords no longer serving us, not serving our highest good, negativity, pain. We release these things and know that they flow downward into the earth. Now I'd like you to take a moment to set your own intention of things you would like to release. and just know that your energy is following your intention. So do that now and continue to breathe. See the last of this energy exit the bottom of your bubble and flow into the earth. See that drain to spirit and know that your aura is sealed and complete. And release your grounding cord and see it fall away into the earth and dissipate. Now bring your attention to the center of your chest. In your mind's eye, it's this idea of pulling within yourself to the center of your being. Finding a place within you that is still and peaceful. I like to envision a clear black lake under an empty night sky, completely still. But use whatever image conveys the sense of stillness to you. In this place, you can return anytime to ask yourself a question, to tap into your intuition, or just to touch again the peace that lives at the center of your being. Whenever you're ready, open your eyes and come back to the present moment. All right, everyone. So at this time, I'd like to say welcome to April. The theme of this month is The Hidden is Revealed. And part of this will be illuminated as we go through the forecast for the month, especially the astrology. But think of it as we've all planted seeds. Everyone, you, everything around you. So the ground has been still and silent, and not much has been happening on the surface, but the seeds have been planted and growing and moving. And the hidden is revealed. I like to think of it as a sprouting, things coming to fruition. For some of us, consequences being realized, secrets being revealed, discovering new parts of ourselves, fulfilling our goals, seeing the things we've been trying to manifest coming to fruition. So good, bad, and otherwise. The hidden is revealed, and things reach their natural fulfillment. So that is the theme for the month. And I am going to tip the camera down because we are going to be doing a tarot reading for the month ahead. There we go. So because this is for the month ahead, this is an extended reading. And this is meant to give you insight and guidance into the month ahead. And it's a little predictive. That is for something else later. All right, so let us go through it. As a point of interest, the deck I'm using today is the Nicoletta Ciccoli Tarot. This card here represents our state of being through April 2020. Also, this is a collective message, of course, so you may find you resonate with the whole thing or just parts of it. Both are perfect. This card states the general mood of the month and our state of being. This is the Eight of Swords, and this talks about being in a position where we are being frightened by mere shadows, of paranoia, of handing our power away, and being in this frightened, powerless place. Obviously, we don't have to stay here, but this is kind of describing the mood for most of us. Now, this card here, just kind of organizing myself. This card here is what crosses us, quote unquote, situations, opportunities, or obstacles that we are faced with. And this card is the World. So, first of all, this card kind of evokes the image of self-isolation, feeling trapped, but not just in a literal way, but feeling trapped within our lives, our relationships, our current situations. And this card talks about being comfortable with shaking things up, being comfortable with allowing a new pattern to emerge, even if things seem perfect or we're comfortable in a comfort zone. So it's kind of saying that that's where we are. Some of us will choose to stay in this place, will feel trapped. Some of us will see the need for change and to follow through on that. Now we're going to get to this card up here in a moment. This card over here on top, these two cards describe the past. So this one talks about the more distant past. And what these cards are bringing up is things in your past that have brought you to this current circumstance. Understanding how we have arrived at a place and taking personal responsibility empowers us to move forward, to seek our way out in a way that we desire. So the more distant past talks about the tendency to rush forward without adequate planning and harming others through our recklessness and haste, or hurting ourselves. So it's talking about those qualities: recklessness, not planning ahead, and that has brought us to this place. Now we feel powerless because we didn't really think things through, and we landed ourselves in a situation. Now the next card is the more recent past, which likewise has led us to where we are now. This is the Five of Wands. This is the Knight of Swords. I forgot to mention. This card talks about placating enemies, placating obstacles. So instead of addressing our problems head on, instead of confronting problematic situations and relationships, we've been kind of placating things so that, we're going along to get along. So these two things together, just kind of impulsively reacting to situations and being reckless and just placating problems rather than solving them, has brought us here. We feel powerless, but we need to acknowledge our own responsibility in the choices we've made that have brought us here. Now this card is the Crown card. It describes what is looming over us. It may be things on our mind or weighing on our mind. And this is the Three of Swords. And this talks about feeling depressed, heartache, emotional distress. But this card also suggests that things may not be as bad as they appear, and being melodramatic. So for some of us, it'll be that, and for some of us, it'll be like a genuine depression. Now, this card here is talking about future influences soon to enter the picture. So this is looking even more so ahead at what's coming ahead in April and at the end of the month. This card has two meanings. One, it talks about really feeling like something is looming over us, the current situation, and attempting to carry on with regular life in the meantime, and that kind of being an influence, kind of a background influence, where it fades in the background of life, but it's still there. This also points to gathering your resources and biding your time, and when the time is right, opportunities will present themselves and you'll have what you need to move forward. So that is what is ahead. Now, given the nature of the reading I just showed you, I also asked the cards for advice on how to change this so that we can have the best month possible in alignment with our highest good. So the next few cards I have to share with you are advice cards. I'm going to move these aside. Obviously, you can rewind or replay the video to see that part of the reading again. So we begin with the Empress. This card talks about the need to examine things, examine our relationships, the aspects of our lives, our situations, ourselves, our psychology, our spirituality, everything. And also to look at everything with a discerning but compassionate eye. For some things you want to be more discerning and harsh, for some things you want to be softer and more compassionate. But it's time to take a hard look at everything and to be discerning. So that's the first step. Now these three cards. This card is death. So it's saying that something must end so something else can begin. A door must close so another can open. Release. Let who you think you are die. Release who you thought you were to allow yourself to awaken reborn. So release old ideas about yourself, how you should be, how things should be. Allow things to pass to open up a new way for you. The Hermit. So taking time to yourself, withdrawing from exterior influences. Even if you are already physically by yourself, it means withdrawing from voices and influences and exterior forces like that. And this is so you can tune into yourself and into your own wisdom and what's going on within you. The final card is the Hanged Man. Notice that this is all major arcana, which means major transformation, major changes and choices needing to be made in order to effectively change your future for the month ahead. Now, the Hanged Man talks about needing to expand your perspective, stop, pause, stop, get a different perspective or, turn things upside down and take time to think, see things a different way. And not just the big event that's happening right now, but like your actual life, your relationships, you. This can be a great opportunity to reflect and actually think about things that normally you pass off because you're busy or distracted. So that is the advice for the month ahead to help make it your best, most transformative month. In April, where the hidden is revealed. Now, let's take a look there. All right, let's bring us back up. Hello again. All right, what do we have here? Just taking a look at my notes. Next is the numerology for the month, which of course is on the screen. The month number for April is 4, which matches the world year number, which is also 4. So there is a emphasis in this month on foundations, structure, stability, security, building the home, and progress on goals. The number 4 is about building those structures, becoming organized, focusing on the details of life, being practically minded, addressing what is most important, making sure you have a solid foundation to move forward in a productive way in all areas of your life, setting yourself up for success, not just winging it. All right, so that is the numerology. Next, I'd like to share with you the astrology for the month. I don't have a separate slide for it this time because we're doing something a little different than we do for the daily morning report. So first, during April, we will be moving through Aries and Taurus season. So happy birthday to April Aries and April Taurus. And I actually have some card guidance for the birthday signs this month. So if you're Aries or Taurus, these next messages are for you. And it's just something to keep in mind for the month ahead, for the year ahead, for the season ahead. So April Aries, this message is for you. During this month, you have the opportunity to ignite your passions and discover that spark within yourself, especially since you're in your power season. And both Aries and Taurus, you're going to be recharged when we come around to our solar return. We get a boost of energy. So tapping into yourself and rediscovering an old passion or finding a new one and allowing it to light you up. Along with that is heartache and loss. So now is the time to heal from old wounds and leave them behind and really step forward in a powerful way. Sorry, these cards are so shiny. The way to heal, that's the best way to move on, is to allow yourself to acknowledge and accept what has occurred and to let it go. And if there is a lesson to be taken away for the future, to do so. But knowing that if you can let it go and step into your fire element and allow yourself to be ignited, it'll be a powerful year for you. Now, April Taurus, this next message is for you. First, this is a time to move on. So a lot like April Aries, it's time to leave stuff behind. This is a little more, some things in your life have met their expiration date, and it is just time to step on through the door and on to the next thing. And this will open you up in powerful ways. The next card is light, and that is really sort of like opening up to your internal natural radiance. Again, similar, but with a slightly different vibration. And not only becoming a light for yourself and guiding yourself forward, but being a light for others. And if you can move on and just let things die, that possibility is open to you. And if you can do that, this next year, your next solar round will be full of new beginnings. And again, it's important to heal and to let go. And there's an emphasis on how you are creating your reality. So be sure you are living in your light. So those are the special birthday messages for April Aries and April Taurus. All right, so during the month of April, because we are going through both of these seasons, there is an emphasis with Aries on the self, achieving our personal goals, and there is a lot of energy available to us, and it's important to really get the full use out of it to direct that energy because it's very unfocused. And then as we move into Taurus, the focus will shift on stability and comfort and grounding. So beginning to root ourselves and focus on our foundations and seeking comfort. And be sure that you are seeking what will actually nurture your spirit, because we can be tempted to seek what is comfortable, which is not always what is healthy for us. So don't allow yourself to root further in to problem situations. Seek genuine nourishment. Next, I would like to talk about the full moon and new moon for the month. So the full moon is on the 7th, and it is in Libra. And my suggestion for my magical practitioners is this full moon is an excellent time to manifest harmony, beauty, a great time for a beauty bath, fairness, equality, to attract relationships or to improve ones you have, justice, and to encourage friendliness, or for essentially to make people have more positive feelings towards you. The new moon is on the 22nd, and it is in Taurus. And this is an excellent time to clear away obstacles to transformation, opportunity, learning lessons, and prosperity. So obstacles to learning lessons, obstacles to prosperity, obstacles towards building foundations and removing what's making us sick, essentially, not really feeding our spirit. All right. I am going to briefly go over the planetary transits for the month. I apologize in advance. I didn't write them in order. So be sure to pay attention to the dates. Well, okay, I'll try. If you're willing to be a bit patient as I kind of skip around. All right. So April 3rd, Venus, which has been in Taurus, is moving into Gemini. So in our relationships and love life, we're going to be feeling very flirty, and we are going to be seeking fun and frivolity in our relationships, which is great. But of course, be wary of Gemini fickleness and getting into more than you can handle, such as perhaps multiple relationships when you don't intend to do so. If you do intend to do so, that's a whole other thing. Just make sure that it's all on the table, it's all honest and clear, so that there's no confusion later when Venus eventually leaves Gemini, which is not during this month, but it will come. Also on the 3rd, Mercury and Neptune are in conjunction, that's the word, sorry, in Pisces. So there's a strong energy of idealism or fantasy. So mentally, our thoughts are very emotionally colored, but this can come across as being able to consciously conceptualize our true ideals about what we believe is possible for us and seeing the best possible future for ourselves, which is a great thing. Or, be wary, we may dive headfirst into our fantasies and use those fantasies to not see what's truly happening around us or to perpetuate unhealthy situations or habits. On April 4th, Jupiter and Pluto are in conjunction in Capricorn. So there is a major opportunity for transformation. It is a very strong energy. This doesn't happen too often. So it'd be a great day for meditation and to invite that energy in, and to be sure that you follow through on any synchronicities and opportunities that come up and allow the change to happen, and that these may happen in areas of personal power dynamics, possibly career as well. Now, April 7th, Mars in Aquarius is squared with Uranus in Taurus, and there's a strong energy of like crisis, contrast, and rebellion, and there's a strong like fight for your individuality and really to be and express yourself and to take strong initiative towards making important and needed changes in your life. Let's see. April 10th, Jupiter goes into retrograde into Sagittarius. So retrogrades are always a period of reflection. There's a few of them this month. And here you will be analyzing your beliefs, especially beliefs that either motivate you or beliefs you're holding that block you, especially from opportunities. So a reflective day and period for certain will begin then. On the 11th, Mercury in Pisces moves into Aries. So mentally, and in the way we express ourselves and communicate with others, we will be very confident, blunt, honest, direct, and potentially not exactly avoid conflict. But we'll be feeling very assertive, and I'm feeling like even if we do start fights, that ultimately it's a good thing. All right, so 11th. On the 19th, the Sun moves into Taurus. So that is when we will shift with a focus on acquisition, building up our lives and parts of ourselves, and a focus on stability and comfort. On the 25th, Pluto retrogrades into Capricorn, and the energy here is revealing the hidden and bringing And it's an opportunity to bring us closer to our true purpose. Again, it's a period of reflection, transforming who we are, our sense of independence and personal power. After that, we have April 27th, Mercury in Aries moves into Taurus. So again, our mental state, how we express ourselves, how we communicate becomes more practically minded, perhaps stubborn, but also like conviction, sticking to our guns, and more methodical. On the 29th, Saturn retrogrades into Capricorn. So up till that point, it's been in Aquarius, I believe. So there's been a major restructuring of our lives up to that point, and how we connect with our community on an individual and greater level, and asking us to mature by being more responsible and ethical in that way. So we're going to retrograde back into Capricorn. So again, a period of reflection, especially for those of you who have your Saturn return in Capricorn. This is a final reflection on your return season. For those of you with a Saturn return in Aquarius, this is like a reprieve. You got your first little taste of your return, and when it retrogrades into Capricorn, you get a reprieve, and everyone will be reflecting on how independent they are in their life, how much they depend on ours, the power dynamics in your life, your ethics, how responsible you are, how much you are living in alignment with your sense of what is right, reflecting on past failures, plans, etc. So it's a very thoughtful period. I'll begin at that point. So that concludes the astrology for April in terms of its major transits. Of course, refer to the morning report, the daily report for daily aspects and further detail. All right, so I would like to bring this monthly report to a close with a little self-reflective prompt. Let me just kind of go through my notes here. So this month, I feel as though it would be especially helpful. I've brought up this exercise in other places before. Throughout the month, so don't just do it once, but take several times throughout the month, whenever you think of the exercise, to reflect and perhaps jot a few things down. I'd like you to think back to your childhood and your adolescence, and think about your parents and the other adults around you, family members, teachers, etc., and reflect on what messages you took in, what you learned from them. And I'd like you to focus on specifically your personal worth, the idea of progress, success, career, money, stability, comfort, enjoying your life, leisure. Focus on those subjects and ask yourself, what did these adults teach you about those things? What things did they tell you directly or teach you by example about those subjects specifically? And I encourage you to write them down if you can, because physically seeing them lends a sense of objectivity. And then asking yourself, do I really believe this? Do I want to continue believing this? Is this actually true? Sometimes we just take it for granted and it sits there in the back of our head. So really bring them to conscious awareness and challenge them this month. In the comments, I would love to hear what you thought of this first monthly report. I'd love, if you feel like sharing thoughts and reflections about the prompt or anything else that has come up during the report. So thank you so much for joining me, and be blessed, and thank you for your continued support. Be blessed and have a beautiful April.